Hey, welcome back, everybody. It's time to grab your board and hit the waves. Well, not that kind of board. We're talking about the airwaves, and we're going to talk about nonprofit boards today here. How about that with a woman who knows all about them and seems to know all of them, all 9,000 of them here in Orange County.
Not quite.
Nelma Maddox. Welcome, Nelma.
Thank you. It's good to see you again.
It's always good to see you because you take us into a world I have never seen before. I know there are lots of nonprofits. Aren't there like 9,000 or something?
9,000 in Orange County, California, not including Orange County, Florida. So it just
or Orange
is
County,
something
New York, or all the other Orange counties. Yeah.
This is only show number 8. I don't think there's enough months or weeks.
Or years in our lives to go through all the rest of these here.
Someone's going to have to carry the torch. Maybe,
so I don't know really what nonprofit boards do, and that's what I'm always trying to. I mean, and how they recruit people, and why they join, and all that stuff. So I'm learning.
Well, we'll keep asking.
Okay.
Good. And then you and I will get this done together.
Okay.
Today our guests are Rob Redwitz, the chairman of the board for Boys and Girls Clubs of Capo Valley.
Right.
So I have Aliso Veo on the brain because one of them is Aliso Veo. And then we also have Stephanie Mondragon.
Yes,
which is it's just such a beautiful last name. And we'll get to know both of you a little bit if that's okay. This time's going to go really quick. This is show number 8. I'm hoping Paul replays this for us in February because this is going to count as our February show.
Yes, absolutely,
okay?
absolutely.
All right, cool. So let's get started. Lovely ladies first. Tell us a little bit about being Youth of the Year of 2025.
Is she Junior Youth of the Year? Wait, let's get the title right.
Sorry, let's get that right.
Yep. Junior Youth of the Year.
Junior Youth of the Year.
Okay.
It was an unsurreal experience. I didn't expect to win, and I'm glad I actually experienced it. It taught me a lot throughout the way, things I can learn or use when I'm an adult. I really enjoy doing it, and I really hope to run for Youth of the Year next year if I could.
Yeah.
I do a lot of public speaking. That's one thing that I learned, how to communicate with others. It's another thing that I learned. Just being there for others and lifting them up has brought me a lot of joy, and I'm really glad that I actually did run for Junior Youth of the Year. And Julian Torres, one of the staff members, actually encouraged me to run for it, and
awesome.
I'm glad I actually did. So.
And what does that mean to run for?
Yeah,
what do
tell
you
us a
do?
little bit about that
do
journey.
you have to give up a speech? Do you have to do special stuff? Is it just a popularity contest? What is it?
Yeah, tell us what it takes.
For Junior Youth of the Year, you actually had to deliver a speech to a panel of 5 judges. It has to be around 3 minutes, sorta, kind of.
Old folks like me.
You were one of the panelists? Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
I wasn't this time, but I have in the
okay,
past, yeah.
Great.
Yeah, I want to be one. Anyways, so yeah, after you gave your speech, you had to sit in front of them, and they interviewed you basically kind of like this, gave you a bunch of questions, and you just had to answer them honestly and try to make a conversation out of them.
Okay. Before we turn it over to Rob, I'm going to just kind of put you maybe on the spot a little bit.
Okay.
Tell me your favorite story about Boys and Girls Club. Just kind of go back to maybe an afternoon that you
And
were
before
there.
you do, just grab the mic and move a little bit, because it's clicking every time you're moving around there.
Oh, weird.
There you go.
No?
Yeah, just see if it'll stabilize on us there.
Okay.
I don't want to hear the clicking. There you go. Okay, so
Okay.
you're going to tell us a story.
Tell us a story about your favorite,
Oh gosh.
maybe a favorite memory at Boys and Girls Club. I'm sure there's a lot.
Oh my
How
gosh.
long did you go there, too? How long did you
Yeah.
go?
I actually started going to the club when I was in 6th grade.
Okay.
So about 3 years, kind of. Well, this is about to be my 3rd year.
Okay. Awesome.
Wait.
Maybe when you've been the most helpful.
Helpful. There's this one time my friend, I was in the education room because in 6th grade I used to go a lot. My friend, she didn't really know a lot of math. Like, I would always be kind of like her tutor. I would be there to help her. And there's this like problems where she didn't understand these questions. So I decided to step up and help her out a bit, and it actually did work. I taught her what I knew and what she knew. We combined it together,
That's
and
incredible.
we solved it together.
And suddenly, who knew?
Right.
You knew and she knew.
Yeah, we
Who
both
knew?
learned.
Yes. Well, what's hilarious, I mean, I'm a little bit old, but I would just say that they changed math on us. So
Oh, yeah.
at the time, my kids, they're 18 and 22 now, but basically when I would help them with their homework, I was about good until like 6th grade.
Yeah.
And that was it. I topped out.
Yep.
Okay, we're going to shift gears a little bit, take the
Okay.
pressure off of you. Rob, tell me a little bit about the board at Boys and Girls Club.
Well, where do I
How
start?
many members?
How many? What
How
are we
many
up
of
to
you
right
are
now,
there?
Nicole? What are we at? 28 total.
Oh, that's a good size.
28. Oh, my
And, you know, it kind of ebbs and flows
Okay.
from year to year. But we've got many board members who have been on there, almost since the club's founding. I've been there, I joined the board in 2014.
Nice.
I started with the club. I'm actually their accountant,
Okay.
so I'm a CPA by trade. And
So you got dragged onto the board.
2007, yeah, a little bit, but so 2007, the then board president, Mike Kelton, knew my dad, who's a CPA as well, and so I was working for him,
Okay.
and he said, you know, the club's in some financial trouble. Our books are kind of a mess. We don't know where we stand, managing cash, all the problems that you run into with a nonprofit.
Yeah.
Could you send someone down to help us out and figure this out on the accounting side? And so I was doing, I was in our audit department at the firm at the time, bored out of my mind, did not like auditing whatsoever. And so Dad knew that, and he said, why don't you go down and give this a try, something different? And I said, yes, absolutely. And so I grew up in San Juan Capistrano, so it's near and dear to me already. And so I went down there, and over the course of the next year, you know, I took over all the accounting, got everything straightened out, started working with the board and the finance committee, and we got everything kind of squared away. And so we just continued to do that, and we've been doing that since 2007. And so I was already very ingrained with the club. I was already going to their board meetings to present their financial statements and talk with their finance committee. So they already knew me, and so in 2014 they asked me to join the board, which was an easy yes for me.
That's fantastic.
And then 2016 they asked me to be president for the first time, and that was a little bit harder. Yes, just because I wanted to, if I was going to make that commitment, I wanted to know that I could do it well and be entrusted with that. So, but I did it, had an amazing experience, and just tried to do everything I can since then. And then Nicole asked me to do this second term, which I gladly accepted again. They're an amazing board, great group of people that I love working with.
For our listeners, Nicole Watson is the CEO of that location, and she's just fantastic. That's actually how I met both of you, so I'm really grateful for that. We also
She's in the peanut gallery.
She is. She's
Sorry.
in the peanut gallery, shouting out numbers. But I would also say about Nicole, she's also out and about in the community.
Yes.
I got to do the Boys and Girls Club activity at the end of December, where we get to wrap presents, and then the children come in and pick presents for their family. I was awestruck by that event, how well run it is, just how beautifully it's set up, how organized, and then just the hands on deck that everybody's just willing to go. I mean, it's so hard to describe. I really can't kind of do it justice, but there's just, I don't know, 50 to 70 tables set up in this, you know, large space, and then the kids come up and they bring their presents that they've chosen for their parents from their homework, you know, tickets. It's just phenomenal. I could go on and on about stuff
So
like
can
that.
I interrupt for one
That's
second?
that's our greatest.
Yeah, go.
Give
for
us
it.
give us the quick overview for those that don't know. I know you have a great center in Rancho Santa Margarita near where I live. I think it's moving to another location. But how many centers you got?
Yep.
What do you do at these centers? And who comes? All that kind of stuff. How many kids you serve and everything here? And then last but not least, how does it fit into the other? I guess you have others in
The national chain.
Yeah.
Of it, yeah.
So we've got 3 locations. Our flagship location, our main location, is in San Juan Capistrano, right next to Marco Forrester Middle School.
Right.
And so that's an 11,000 square foot building that we built originally. The city of San Juan Capistrano gave us a land lease, donated a land lease that we could build on that property. And then
that's a rarity to find
yes,
that.
Yes, the city of San Juan's been amazing.
That's
They've been
awesome.
very supportive of us. And so we've got 11,000 square foot. So there we can do well over 300 kids a day.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
And then we've got a site in Aliso Viejo that's about 5,000 square feet.
Okay.
Again, City of Aliso Viejo has been amazing to work with and is letting us use that facility for free. And so there we can do, 100
Half
kids
as
a day.
much, yeah, right.
And that one's busting at the seams right now. So that's a really great location. And then Santa Margarita, we did have a location in the bell tower there. But recently we ended that relationship, and now we're in the middle school out there.
Oh, okay.
And so we're still trying to serve as many kids as we can out that direction. But it's hard when you don't have an actual standalone facility.
And what do you do? Or maybe it's a question for Miss Mondragon here,
Yeah.
right?
Well, yeah, she's going to know firsthand.
Stephanie, maybe share to us, like, you've been starting to go there since 6th grade, did you say?
Yeah, I
Okay.
have.
So
Why?
what
do you
did that
do?
look like?
Yeah.
Honestly, one of my favorite things to do is play volleyball.
Okay.
They're upgrading the gym right now, so it's closed, but I love playing volleyball with my friends. Any sports, call me in.
Great.
They have a lot of stuff you can actually do there. One of, like, oh my gosh, it's like one of the biggest, wasn't it? Isn't it?
Which one?
Yeah, your location, the San Juan Capistrano.
oh my god, it's
Yeah, it's the biggest.
amazing. You can I do my homework in there sometimes if I'm ever like studying for a test. If not, I can go to the education room. They help me out a lot in there. You can do art because we have an art room.
Yeah.
If not, you can just go in middle school room, chill with your friends, have a nice talk. And there's teen side also. They have a lot of things on teen side. Ping pong. You can watch movies, play video games. They have. I think I don't know if they do have cooking club anymore, but they used to have these. You used to be able to cook inside the snack room. Oh my gosh, it was so fun.
Unbelievable.
I
That is so
know.
great.
They have
When
amazing
I think when I
programs.
went on the tour, I did see a music room.
Oh
Then
yeah,
you guys
there
have a
is music-
studio, right?
Yeah, they have like everything there. Yeah, they have a music room in there where I always try to learn piano. I actually did learn a couple of songs.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and
great.
We're going to put you to the test later
Yeah.
here. We're
Wait,
gonna do the
wait,
piano
no.
here.
We can't fit
Hey,
a
I don't
piano in
know.
the studio, but next time.
Excellent.
I'll try to show you guys my skill. I'm okay. My mom actually got a piano not that long ago.
Oh,
See?
So
congrats! Yay!
yeah, so I'm gonna try to learn off both. But yeah, I play sports, arts, music, and just chill with my friends.
That's so awesome. Thank you for sharing.
So is this
Yeah, of
like an
course.
after-school program? Is that what
Yeah.
I'm picturing this? So
Yes.
It's before and after school.
before school too. Okay.
Yep. And then and so we try to offer an array of programs. So both educational to help the students, but then also fun and athletics and then life skills like music and podcasts and doing that type of stuff too.
Podcast.
Yeah, I
You
was
have a
gonna say,
podcast.
Yeah,
let's
we have a
stop,
podcast
let's stop
studio.
there for a second because that's
Yeah.
related to this area. Rob said this was not his first podcast. I'm going to try
Yeah.
not to have my feelings hurt, but I would love to hear about your first one.
Yeah, well, we just did a huge renovation of our San Juan location. We had some extremely generous donors, one of which was Cox Communications. And so they came in and donated, what is it called? The Innovation Lab? We call it? Yeah, Cox Innovation Lab. And one of those is a podcast studio.
Wow.
And so,
So
when
cool.
we did the grand opening, we were having some of our club kids interview people that were coming through, adults coming through. And
Is it audio and video or just?
I was one of
audio?
the lucky ones. I think we just did audio that
Yeah.
day. I don't remember. I don't know
That's
if
cool.
they've got video too.
The
So,
club does actually have video too.
Cool.
It does.
Nice.
It's actually they do both.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys kind of have a movie room too, or how does that work?
Well,
Or you're saying that they actually now they video the podcast?
yeah, I think they have an Instagram. I'm pretty sure.
Oh,
yeah,
rad. I'm gonna
they
have to
a
follow
page.
that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Before we
think
leave,
that-
there's a couple things. Before you leave, we're gonna have to do this. We're gonna say,
Okay.
how can people help? How can people get more involved?
Yes.
Okay.
And then, how do you, follow you
Okay.
guys? So we'll do that. Remind me if I forget. I
Great.
forget a lot of things.
So how is the podcasting going? Because every kid, my grandkids are 6 and 10 and stuff. All they want to do is make TikTok videos or YouTube videos or be an
that's a good point.
influencer, all that stuff. I would think that would be a hot commodity. Anything that
Yeah, how long was the interview?
tells stories.
Yeah, they did. I don't know. It was a handful of questions, and I was just asking about it. They were really good questions. They kind of took me off guard a little bit because they were about leadership and what influenced me when I was young, and How did I, become involved at the club? And so it was good.
Yeah.
Then did
fun.
they edit it and did they put it up on the internet?
I didn't see the final product. I think they did do some editing and they did post it as part of a kind of a collage of the people that they interviewed that day.
There you go.
For the grand opening. So
That's
it
great.
was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Well, since the show is board talk, I'm going to take you down that road a little bit, Rob. If you could just enlighten me, ideal board member? There's 28, I know, but in your mind.
Well, what you're trying to do when you're forming a board is you're trying to get a well-rounded board. So you want people from a lot of different walks of life. You want people in a lot of different professions, people who can lend their talent and their skills and their experience, because as that board, you have to wear a lot of hats and you come up against a lot of different situations. So fundraising is one of them. So being good with money, getting out, being in the community, getting the word out, holding fundraisers. So you need people who are good at planning events and want to participate and go out and get auction items and all that kind of stuff. And then there's the legal and compliance side of a nonprofit. So you need CPAs, you need lawyers, you need people who have experience and are willing to contribute time and energy towards those sides too. Because
Can I ask you a tough question? I don't want to put you on the spot, but
Yeah.
you started off, you opened the door and said, when they brought you in, hey, they were having some financial trouble here. I hear that a lot. How do boards, how do charities get in trouble just because they don't know what they don't know, or they don't know how to raise money, or they don't know
I'll
how
tell
to
you what the
watch
situation.
the money?
Yeah,
or
yeah. I mean, it's a lot of different scenarios, but I'll tell you what the situation was here, and this was a long time ago. Is the club was smaller back then, and they had a nice retired woman doing the books, who was volunteering her time and had some bookkeeping experience, but was not a professional accountant. And so as the organization grew and they were running a capital campaign in the millions of dollars to build out their teen center, that can get very complicated very quickly.
Yeah, for sure.
And in the state of California, any nonprofit that raises over $2 million has to have an independent audited financial statement prepared.
okay.
So you have to go through an audit every year, and that can be a difficult process too.
Yeah, for sure.
So, so she was doing the best she could, but she was just overwhelmed.
So
And
it's like a big and complex, like a real company here, and you're not trying to
yeah,
run
you
it
got
like,
multiple locations, and we're trying to track our financial statements, our cost centers by program and location, and so they got pretty complicated.
I was going to ask if anybody has, if some of your money comes from grants.
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you say what percentage?
I don't know. We're probably 10-15%, something like that.
Oh, okay.
It's mostly individual donors.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
that's some.
So for a grant,
Nice
do you have to
contribution.
verify something? Do you have to send them some sort of
Yes.
spreadsheet, stats, what happened to the grant money and
Yep.
what was the result and all that?
Every grant's a little bit different. They all want different information. Some are very much, here's a check, here's the money. We like what you're doing. Just keep doing that.
Right.
Some are very much, they're called accountable grants, which is you perform the service and then you essentially bill us.
Yeah.
And we'll pay you for that service of serving a certain number of kids. So you do have to send documentation and backup that we provided those services and how many kids attended and that type of stuff. We have those with the cities. And then some grants, they have an application that you fill out and you submit that. And if they like it, then they
Yeah.
give you the money.
And recognizing now that the grants usually want you to kind of align with their pillars, right?
Oh,
so
for
you
sure.
really definitely want to stay within their guideposts.
Yep.
And they're not easy to get. You kind of sometimes have to have a grant writer. Hopefully you have a good grant writer on your
Yes.
board, or one is actually employed by Boys and Girls
They're worth
Club.
their weight in gold if you
Yeah,
can find a good grant writer.
1000%.
Because you've got the grant side, so you can get the money, and then, like I said, sometimes the compliance side can be very difficult too.
Exactly right.
Yep.
And is
And
it
then-
harder or easier these days to raise money? Because I went downstairs we're at UCI's Beal Applied Innovation Center. They have big events. Whatever the group is that fundraisers or whatever you call people who raise money for charities.
Yep.
What do you call these people? Whatever that association is called. They had a big meeting, and they said there are fewer. I got to sit in on some of the presentations. Fewer people giving, but the people who give are giving more. And I don't know if that's what you're seeing too.
I think the biggest challenge, to be honest, is making sure the next generation is giving, right? So you go to a lot of these fundraisers. I work with a lot of nonprofits. That's my specialty as a CPA. I do a lot of the same types of things I do for the club on the accounting side. I do with a lot of other nonprofits. And so I go to their fundraisers and I see who's giving and that type of thing. And what you're seeing is that there's a lot of the older generation. So so I'm 49. It's my dad's generation who are giving those big dollars.
Yeah.
And what the challenge is eventually those guys are going to not be here anymore.
Yeah.
We've got to get that next generation. We've got to get my generation to start giving in that amount. And when you're in a place like Orange County where it's very expensive to live and raise kids, there's not quite as much of that charity side to go
I'm
around.
fascinated by generations, by the way. Are you considered Gen X still, or are you?
I was born in
cusp of the millennial.
77, so what is that?
You're still Gen X, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, you're on the cusp.
I think so.
You're
I
on the
think
cusp.
so.
We won't
Yeah.
lump you in with the millennials that got in a lot of trouble.
But what you do see is people in my generation more than willing to give their time and their talents if they
Yes.
don't necessarily have the cash.
For sure.
So-
And it isn't so much that, it's just they haven't gone into kind of their that wealth zone yet.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So that's one of the really
So
cool
hopefully
things
they'll
about Orange
inherit,
County is,
you
like,
know, that money from the older generation, and
Yeah.
and so you want to get to know those folks, and you want to bring in that next generation of donors. So what I
Sure.
encourage my nonprofits to do is to diversify
Mm-hmm.
in their fundraising. So don't just all rely on grants. Don't just rely on individual donors.
Mm-hmm.
Don't just rely on corporations. Get a little bit of all that. Do fundraisers.
Sounds like you have widespread. Yeah, it sounds
We
like you
do,
guys have
yes,
a
very much
diversified.
so. So we've got
giving
a
group.
very good core of donors, and then we're always trying to expand that core. But we do the fundraisers, we do the grants, we work with our cities, we work with corporations. So
That's great. So I don't mean to put you on the spot. We might have to look over in the corner at Nicole a little bit. But how is We Can involved? Can you?
well, Weekend was founded by our past president,
Okay.
who I succeeded,
Mm-hmm.
Michelle Williams, and Nicole can correct me if I'm wrong, but really the main point of that was to empower women, particularly, to get involved with the club, to get together and find ways that they can participate, fundraise, and bring their time and talents without necessarily being on the board,
Yeah.
because they can reach a wider net of people that want to be involved but not necessarily be on a board and dedicate that kind of time to helping the club in various ways.
I can tell you how successful it is. It's what roped me into it.
Oh,
You know, I
good.
met
Oh, good.
everybody, and I'm completely drawn to it. They do a tea, they have bunko.
Yeah.
I mean,
They're bringing
they
in
have-
guest
Oh,
speakers.
They have
Bunko.
luncheon at the.
There you go.
Yep.
They have excellent speakers at their luncheon. I mean, I'm telling you,
Yep.
it's another way for people in the community to get involved
Yep.
because there's so many facets of which you could enjoy. So
We were talking about our holiday homework where we do the gift giving and wrapping and all that,
Yeah.
and they showed up in force this
Yeah,
year. And, oh yeah, they
exactly.
were amazing.
I saw all of them in the line, dressed up.
Yep.
It was wonderful. Okay, Stephanie, back to you. This is a little bit of a pressure question.
Uh-oh.
How do you see yourself giving back to Boys and Girls Club?
I was kind
in
of
the
thinking the
future?
same thing because we're talking about how to get the next generation, and that's you. Are you gonna say
you.
thanks someday and that was fun and go on in your life, or are you gonna come back and be on the board someday here?
Oh, I'm definitely gonna try to. I also want to start a bunch of fundraisers and get like a platform that's good enough so people can like come and donate. I would love to give back to the Boys and Girls Club. They taught me a lot of skills and a lot of education that I actually have today. And yeah, basically.
What are you passionate about now? Meaning, is there a place that you want to, is there a trade you want to get into? Do you want to go to college? I mean, I don't want to put you on the spot, but
She wants to be a podcaster. Everybody wants to be a podcaster.
There's actually a program that I'm taking in my class, in school right now. It's called Avid. It's a it's a program that you take if you do want to get a college. I do want to get into a good college, maybe actually UC Irvine.
Oh.
There you
UC,
go.
I really want to get
See.
into UC. Yeah, so I'm trying to put my education and my grades before anything. So yeah, I do want to go to college when I'm older and hopefully give back.
And what grade are you in? You said you're like
Just
in
junior.
ninth now?
Junior?
What grade are you in?
I'm in 8th grade.
Eighth grade,
oh
okay.
my
okay.
goodness! Wow. Okay. junior. That I had it in my head that you were a junior. That was
Yeah.
wonderful. Very mature.
But
Okay.
along those
I
lines,
did put you on the spot. Go ahead.
we have many stories of our club kids coming back and working at the club too,
See?
and being
Yeah.
mentors.
Yeah, exactly right. And Nicole and I talked about this on the side where we were talking about, the opportunity to share career paths. If you would have talked to me when I was in 8th grade, I wouldn't have told you that I wanted to be in pharmaceutical sales. I wouldn't have even known that existed, right? So there's just a lot of cool things that can happen when you're involved and then you're open in the community to be able to say, I'm vulnerable enough to say, I'm going to look at this career for me.
What
and
would
maybe
your
that's
life?
a good fit.
I was going to. I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
You got me thinking. I just blurted out. Stephanie? What if go back in the time machine? If there
Okay.
had been no Boys and Girls Club, how would you be different? Would you have just wasted time or gotten involved in other things you shouldn't have? I don't know. I don't know what happens to kids that don't have these sorts of activities.
I always talk about your grandkids doing that. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
right.
I actually got a lot of knowledge from the boys. I got public speaking. Honestly, I don't think I would be doing this interview right now. I would be nervous.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'd probably just be goofing around with my friends, but I'm actually glad that I joined. My mom entered me in 6th grade, and best decision of my life.
See?
Please.
Awesome. Yay.
well.
Well, that's good. Thanks to Mom. Kudos. Okay, and then the other thing I was going to say, this is something that I've seen work for other boards, and it doesn't mean that you have to, but maybe something you can consider to spearhead is a youth board.
Yeah, she's
Starts
got me
maybe
sold
at
on this
freshman
idea.
year, right? Freshman year
Maybe.
goes through senior year, and it's something to think about. You can also get mentors from that board, and then they're so willing to mentor, to be honest. I will just kind of digress for 2 seconds. My daughter's going to hate that I'm talking about this. She's 22. She just took her MCAT for the first time on Friday, and she knows that she wants to be a doctor, which is so cool. Our neighbor, who's renting the house next to us, happens to be a surgeon, a robotic surgeon that does prostatectomies, hysterectomies, and removes, organs.
All those ectomies.
All
right?
the ectomies. And such a lovely guy. He basically said I would love it if she wanted to be an MA in my office. And that's just what happens when you're out there and you put yourself out there and you show reliability. She had shadowed him one time. But now all of a sudden she's got this opportunity to possibly, work with him. And that's just what is so cool about nonprofits in the nonprofit world when you get exposed to somebody who's on a board. And that's one of the reasons I'm so happy I did this show is that now all of a sudden, you make connections. You're here in UCI in the OC Talk Radio studio with Paul Roberts, who's been doing this for 30 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if you
130
decided
years.
to take a career down that path, or if you wanted to go to UCI, you could actually come in here and be like, knock the door. Hey, Paul,
Yeah,
remember when I came in here? And, so that's full circle. Anyway, I digress. I always
wouldn't
run out
let her
of
in
time,
here though
too.
because she'd probably take over my job. I'm at that point. I'm trying to protect
You might
myself.
be ready by that time.
I might be okay.
So the other thing is, I know we always run out of time. What are your closing thoughts for the listeners, Rob? I'm going to say it to you so we can finish with Stephanie. But any closing thoughts for our listeners today? Something I didn't cover?
Well, I would just say anybody who's considering joining a board, joining a nonprofit, I just say it's the greatest thing you can do with your time. And the more you put into it, the more you'll get out of it. The
Yeah, I
more
love that.
involved you get, the more of yourself you give to it, you'll get it back tenfold.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you for that. Stephanie, anything you want our listeners to hear about you?
If you're ever considering sending your kids to the Boys and Girls Club, please do. It's worth it and learned a lot from it, and I hope I can give back one day.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I know you will. You absolutely will. You're a shining star.
This is why we do it. This
Absolutely.
is why that board shows
absolutely.
up.
This is why
and does
we
it.
always tear up at this show too.
Yeah.
How do we get involved? How does everybody find you guys?
Well, we've got the Boys and Girls Club of Capistrano Valley website. That's a great place to get started.
.org?
.com.
.com. Okay.
And we've got a great marketing team, so that website is all up to date. We've got events on there that they can come and participate at if they want to volunteer. That's how you get started to join the board. You volunteer for a certain period of time, and we get to know you, and you get to know us, and then if you're interested in being the board, that's kind of the process.
And
to
what
get
do you
started.
need the most of right now? Is it always just money, or is it services or mentors or more facilities, or I don't know, what's on your wish
Well,
list?
like I said, you can bring anything to the table. We kind of always need everything, and there's always board members that are terming out or backing away, and so there's always slots to fill and different talents that we need. So, but yes, money, always money.
Money. Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good. Paul, you good with everything?
I'm good. I'm just amazed. I think it's a great organization, and I don't think enough people realize what the good that they do. I think all these after-school programs. We have one of our show hosts on another show, on the Hispanic Chamber Show, and he says it was a Boys and Girl Club, wherever it was,
Yeah.
that saved him from getting into trouble
Yeah,
and getting
life-changing.
into mischief.
Mhm.
You know, otherwise I'm just hanging around with the wrong people and making up mischief here.
Yeah. So next time you and I got to go on a tour. We're going to go check out their little podcast
I
studio.
would love to see their
That'd be
podcast
good?
studio.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe we can give them a few tricks or a few tips or something here if they're looking
If
for
anybody's interested in the club or interested in donating, come down to the club. We'll give you a
We
tour. Once you
absolutely
get
will.
around the kids, once you see what we're doing.
And did we say how many clubs are there?
Did
Other
we say how many
organizations?
nationwide?
There's total 5,500 nationwide.
And how many in Orange County?
And
3 or 4?
13?
13.
13 Boys and Girls Clubs? Oh,
And
my
so every
goodness.
club is its own chapter, though.
Yep.
And then there's Boys and Girls Club of America.
Okay.
And so we kind of have
Everybody has their own
to
board.
train our donors a
To
little bit
decipher, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
to give to us,
Yeah.
not the national organization. They're the
Well,
ones
you're the
on
ones who came in here and
Super
did the
Bowl
heavy lifting,
commercials.
so
Yeah.
I
Right.
don't know about them, but
Yep.
I'm giving to Elisa.
give to your
I'm
local
giving
club.
but yes,
Yeah,
the
well,
local one.
Right, where you know it stays, right?
All right, awesome. Well, stay action-oriented and purposed. I really appreciate you guys coming in.
Thank you.
Yeah, great. Thank you.
Well, there it is. Another reason to tune in. See, it's not boring. It's board talk. It's good talk. It's talking about the future and our kids and our communities here. Right here on Orange County's only community radio station, OC Talk Radio, streaming live from our studios here at the University of California, Irvine's Beale Applied Innovation Center.